Hi, I'm Joe Ray, and I work with the Stratatech group in Norwalk. We're AV integration, smart home services, also manage IT services for corporate and industrial and residential as well. So what this is a little fun that we've been kicking around for a while, an idea that we had to just to talk about who we are, what we do, maybe some product reviews, some hardware, some software, and to get a little bit of an insight on what Stratatech is all about. So I would like to introduce you to our first episode of Stratatalk. Now, I think for our first episode, who better than to interview would be the founding member, CEO, senior partner, generally pretty decent human being, Fior Lostumbo. Fior.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Good times, man.
Yeah, it's an adventurous year, 2020.
Time of life, right?
Yeah, adventurous. Yeah, definitely.
So we're in 2020, and maybe there'll be some something for posterity later on with this video. It's the end of 2020.
Yeah.
It's been quite a year.
Roller coaster ride.
It's an election year, so that's also been really crazy, right? I mean, regardless of who kind of comes out on top at this point, but either way, we're going to have I think a long road ahead. But let's talk about your experience personally, and then how it's been sort of affecting the business and overall.
Personally, as in, you mean me getting infected with the virus?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was an experience. It was definitely an experience. Definitely wasn't a, pleasant experience for me. Struggled with it quite a bit.
Sure.
Probably from the day that I started feeling my first symptoms, I was affected by it for probably a good 2 months. It was a solid 2 months, solid struggle for about 2 months. Even to this day, right now, I still do not have a sense of smell from the virus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
No. So, it's so funny. Sometimes I'm out with my kids or whatever, we're in the car, and they're like, "Oh, do you smell that skunk?" And I'm like, "No, I don't smell it. I don't smell anything."
Wow, that's that's got to be kind of disturbing. I mean, okay, a skunk is one thing, but other things like good food and flowers.
So it's kind of funny. It's more of the sour smells that I can't smell. It's not.
So that's
like if I walk home, if I walk in my house and my wife is baking cookies, I could smell that. It's weird. It's very weird.
Wow.
But yeah, some of the after effects that people are kind of having is like this fogginess. Sometimes a little more difficult time to concentrate.
right.
I've seen that with me. That's gotten actually a lot better.
Sure.
But when I first came away from the virus and I was shedding the virus, I felt that. It was weird, really weird. But that has subsided. I think the sense of smell is starting to subside a little bit more as well.
Now, I know you're not a doctor or anything, but do you feel that there will be longer term effects to you, or how do you?
I really don't know. I mean, I hope not, obviously.
Right, clearly.
Hope everything goes back to normal 100%.
Yeah.
You do love certain smells you do want to smell, and certain things,
Isn't it strange though? So it's so different for so many people, because there are those stories of like the people that just kind of get it for a day, or they get some kind of symptoms and then it flies away, and then
absolutely
the asymptomatic. So it's a very obviously interesting thing, and so I think that's what causes so much confusion with so many people.
Nobody knows how it's going to
happen. Right.
happen.
I mean, listen, science changes, right? And I think that's what we need to understand. But again, we're not here to talk about that kind of thing. But it was like a week or two before that, we were sitting talking about like, what's the plan?
Right.
Right.
We strategized. Right. We came up with a plan, what we're going to do.
Who's going to be home? How's that going to work out?
Yeah, and I was probably the one that pushed that envelope at the office. I was like, listen, guys, this is a real thing. We have to come up with a plan. We have 100%. Clients that are coming up with plans. Let's look at some of their models. Let's see how we could fold them into our solution. Yeah. And it ended up happening to me, of all people, right? Exactly. Nobody else in the office has ever has tested positive.
No.
I'm the only person in the office that has tested positive. So
yeah, and we were basically all out of here for it could have been 3 months, right? We were on Zoom for a while, doing stuff from home.
A lot of remote work. Everybody went home and started working from home, and we really rolled out a good solution. We were able to support our entire client base.
Right. The IT side of the business, which is really was key on that. Now, I was working on some project management and stuff remotely from some jobs that were coming in as far as the AV side was going, kind of sorting things out for months ahead because we weren't stopping, obviously. But on the IT side, you have, there's businesses, companies that rely on their infrastructure, right? And now, of course, everybody's working from home. Now they want all these new laptops. They want all the technology to be in place that's going to support the kind of bandwidth that's going to be necessary, right? So how'd that all?
Oh well, so that was a tricky situation because in the pace of a light switch, everything changed.
Right.
Like everybody says, we need this done ASAP. A lot of clients didn't have laptops to go mobile. They're bringing computers home from their offices, connecting them, things like that. It's not something you can take back and forth. It's not that convenient. People are wanting to buy new hardware. People's internet connections at their home, things like that, become a much bigger problem.
Right.
Because now we're supporting all these people remotely, trying to give them the best solution they could have to work in their environment, which makes it difficult. Because you don't know their environment, and we can't go there to see their environment.
Right.
So you got to figure that all out on the fly as well. So it's definitely, it definitely was a little bit of a learning curve for everyone, the client and us as well. And to have to activate that in an instant makes it much more tricky.
Such a quick
There's no planning. There's no planning for that. We actually had a client that we had a conversation with on a Friday and said, look, looks like the way everything is going. Looks like they may shut down this area. We need to come up with a plan. And I met with the owner of the company and the director of IT there. And we had a conversation about it. And he's like, yeah, let's come up with a plan. And over the weekend, I had started working on a plan for them. And Monday, they called and said, we're working from home. It literally happened in 3 days.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It changed in an instant. So,
yeah, they had to adapt. Everybody had to adapt. And, and then Stratatech got that level of, we were able to stay open. Essentially, because we're
essential workers,
right? Essential services, right?
Right.
Because of IT, because of the support.
Yeah, I mean it's a must-have. Everybody needs that.
Especially now, and too bad we didn't have stock in Zoom.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you do, but I like, man, what a turn! What a. To your point, things can change in an instant, and we just have to be ready for it.
So we're such a big Microsoft shop. To your comment about having stock in Zoom, I was such a believer in Teams.
Oh yeah, Microsoft Teams, which we use a lot.
And I'm such a big believer in the Microsoft product line, the whole thing. So, I was a Teams pusher, right? And I saw the differences between Teams and Zoom. Teams has so much more capability than Zoom's. It was such a perfect fit for us. So
for us, internally,
even clients. So we rolled that out to 95% of our clients.
Plus, it has better security.
It has security, it has more features, document sharing, things like that incorporated into Teams, which Zoom doesn't have those features.
Okay.
You could share a screen, but you can't do, literally work on documents. You be on a document and I'll be on a document at the same time, changing stuff, things like that. You can't do that in Zoom.
Right, because it's the integration with the
Microsoft has collaboration tools built into it. Right. Teams, Zoom is more of a meeting place.
Right. Which just video and share,
and sharing, screen sharing, that kind of stuff.
And again, that works well for like the general like people having it at home, working from home, doing meetings from home.
Great, great. Schools.
When we were kids, right? We watched the Jetsons and we watched these. It's like, oh, that's really cool. And Star Trek, it's like, then we have these flip phones. Oh, that's kind of like a communicator. Oh, now we're talking to our people over video phone, video chat, video.
It's funny you say that about the Jetsons because, think about this. When we used to watch the Jetsons, their robot would go out and clean their house, right? Remember they used to have that gray robot? That she'd sweep, she'd do everything. Yeah.
Rosie,
yeah. We now have robots vacuuming our house when we're not home.
Right.
And so, at my house, my iRobot at my house, my Roomba at my house, knows to clean the house when the alarm system is set to the on position because it knows nobody's home at that point. And when I'm not home, I mean, when I do come home, if I come home and turn off my alarm when I get in the house, it knows to go put itself away.
That's fantastic.
It's great.
And again, just that, of course, you're segueing perfectly here to control system, right? So that's tied into like Control 4, and which is super cool. You know, which is another thing we'll talk about in future episodes. We'll get deep into like automation technology. And
stuff. So I think
big deal.
All the way back to your first comment was about coronavirus and what it did for Stratatech. I think it was a big learning curve for Stratatech. Sure. I think it actually benefited us because we got a lot of work out of it. Obviously,
strangely, right?
Going to the remote world, and now probably in the near future going back, a portion of people going back to the offices. Everything has to be reversed. And
but do you think now that people, businesses, individuals, whatever, have gotten a taste of real remote, like high-end remote working, that people are going to be like, you know what, I can spend more time with my family now. I don't really need to go into the city. I don't really need to go to wherever, to Stanford or wherever, to do my work. I can do it. I can work from home 3 days a week and have a better quality of life.
Absolutely. I think that works. I think a majority, maybe 75% of the workforce is probably falling in that category. But I still think there's that 25% older workforce people that say, I don't want to work from home. I don't know how to do this. It's too confusing. Sure. I don't want all this technology in my house. You know, I don't want to go build this whole infrastructure at my house. I want an office to go to every morning. Certain people love that environment, right? Some people have to get out of bed and leave the house to be productive. It takes a very certain discipline at home to be productive in a job at home.
Yes, it does.
And there's going to always be people that can't take that opportunity and go with it because they just don't have that discipline.
Right.
You know, it's a learning curve for sure.
Very interesting. Well, how do you see the future with sort of in this new environment?
I mean, obviously we're going to plug through. We have to, right? We don't have a choice. Society doesn't have a choice. We have to do that, right? I think overall people are used to now starting to work from home, and I think people will adapt to it easier. I don't think it's going to be that big of a. I think it's more of detrimental to the schools.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
You know, my children, I see that. You know, they need to be interactive with students in the school. Things. My kids are in full time, but I talk to a lot of people, and my wife being a school teacher of public schools, we hear all the time that there's parents that say, "Hey, I really wish this was different." I mean, we find ourselves very fortunate with my kids being in school full time. We love that. They have no cases at all in their school. They've never had one case as of today.
That's great.
Right?
It's amazing how, you know, and I mean, we're adapting across the board. And there's so many ideas about how things should be, how things are. Some of them a little bit out there, but you know, everybody's got their feelings, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And sort of they dig in on that, and you can't fault anybody, right? We're all trying to do the right thing.
There's no right or wrong, right? Everybody's finding their way.
Trying anyway, right?
Yeah. I mean, we all want the best for each other. We all try to help each other and make the best thing out of everything.
But. And that it's interesting too because like the environment even here at Stratatech, because we're super diverse, and it's like, and everybody's kind of has a different. We're almost like the microcosm of what we're seeing outside because we're kind of split down the middle politically and religiously, whatever, you know what I mean. But we have these interesting conversations, and still, oh my goodness, we still get along. How about that? So you know, it's like it's nice to be able to come to a place like this and have that, and be able to have an open conversation with stuff and about. You know, cool business that we do.
Well, one of the things we've always promoted at Stratatech was everybody getting along, and no matter what your views are, right?
Right.
So, you know, Stratatech has employees that been here since 1998.
Right. It's amazing.
To, you know, you become a family member here, right? You become.
Yeah, I love it, and I know I've known your brother for a long time, which is how my connection through here, and we work together some years ago. And we'll get him in here, and you may not be able to tell the difference because they are twins, but that's moving forward.
We'll do a duo episode.
Oh, wow, that's going to be funny. And then we'll switch you guys up. We'll put you in.
Put him there, me here. We'll have a conversation.
Wow. See, ideas are flowing already.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Anything else you wanna mention?
No, I mean, it's a good piece.
Cool. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun with this moving forward. We're just gonna see where it goes, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode. And listen, whatever you do, be good to each other, have fun, and don't be mean. And have an exceptional life and day. And we'll see you next time. And when you're thinking smart tech, think Stratatech. Thanks, man.
Good. I like it. Good.